What's going on, guys? Kush here, back with a new video, and it's been some time since I've talked to the camera. So how have you guys been? I've been doing great. So today's video we're gonna be going on a shoot, and it's gonna be something different, something I myself not tried before. We're gonna be shooting Max. You might know him from my previous videos. I'm gonna take you through the equipments and explain what are we shooting. So let me quickly walk you through what all we're going to be using. So first of all, I'm gonna be using the R5C 50mm, 16mm, and just in case I might need it, the 24-105. Next, I've got the gimbal and my mic. With the base plate plus, I've also gotten this L plate because we're going to be shooting everything vertically, so that would be really important, otherwise I wouldn't be able to use the gimbal vertically. Next, I've got a 1, 2 and one battery in the camera because the R5C uses lots of batteries. Next, we've got the SL60 with this hood plus these red, green and blue plastic film, you can say. I'm gonna be using these clips to clip onto this hood so we can basically get red, blue or green. The next light would be my Godox LC500R, which has RGBs. So this is basically everything I'm gonna be taking, but now the only question is how am I gonna fit all of this into this bag? That's the challenge. If you haven't been able to understand by now, I'm gonna be basically doing a photo and video shoot with RGB lights. So essentially I'm gonna put some film gel on the Godox SL60, and on the LC500 I'm gonna just pick the contrasting color to that, and we're gonna be shooting. So one tip I can give you that really helped me when planning for the shoot is, so go on to Pinterest and take out a few references like this and this that I've taken out here, because it really helps. Like you're able to set a mood board and understand what equipment you would need. Otherwise, if I didn't set the mood board and understood what I would need, maybe I could have taken the wrong lens, or maybe just one light instead of two. So that's one thing I found really helpful when planning shoots, and when just doing anything in general, just doing a bit of pre-production, setting a mood board, having everything organized, it really helps. Now getting it all into the bag, so let's see how that is. So I was able to fit almost everything in my camera bag except for the gimbal, the light hood and the LC500. My goal is always to carry as minimum stuff as possible. I mean, my goal is always to carry one bag if possible, but in this case I think I have a little too many things to just fit in one bag, so I don't want to overload my bag either. So I'm just gonna put the light stands, the LC500 and the gimbal in its own carrying case, and that'll be it. Alright, everything is packed and ready to go. So we've got my camera bag, gimbal bag, LC500 bag, light stand bag, and everything else I fitted in this bag. Still a lot of stuff, but manageable for one person. So I'm gonna go ahead, book an Ola, and we'll just be off. So, are you guys ready to see what we've created? This might be one of my best set creations so far. So let's go. What's up, bro? Alright guys, let me show you how I set this up. So we've got 3 lights. We initially had 2 lights, but I found this ring light here and I thought it could be useful. So let me explain to you one by one. So first of all, I've got the Godox LC500R on this side, and exactly about give and take 45 degrees, we've got the other Godox, the SL60 here. So both of these are giving basically contrasting colors. One I got on green and the other red. I chose these colors. I initially started with red and blue, but I didn't like how that was coming, so I moved it a bit. I did a bit of experimentation with different colors, and I came across green, and in my opinion it looked really good. It complemented the plants a little bit, gave a hint of naturistic look to it, even though it's very RGB techy-ish. It went good with it. And below me right here, I've got this white ring light. I've set it to what I feel is about daylight, giving a bit of a kicker on his face so we can have a little bit of neutral light and not have the colors overtake it too much. So that's the basic premise, and Max has done a bunch of art designing of this room, has done the art direction for this. So he set up the plants, he set up everything here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's start with the shoot. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to be putting an L plate on the camera, because we're going to be shooting it vertically, and this will just make it easier instead of using the camera, instead of just holding the gimbal sideways. And then on the side of the L plate, I'll be putting the gimbal mount. Alright guys, so after a bit of trial and error, I've decided to remove the kicker light that was here, and from green change this to a very dark blue, because I felt it would have, the contrast was looking much more better. Even though I did like the green, me and Max, after discussing a bit, decided that the blue is going much more with the vibe. So once we decided that, I also changed the location a bit of the SL60 to a top down, to have it a bit more focused, like a little like a spotlight on him. We're gonna go ahead, start shooting now. Let's get into it, and I'll walk you through the process. 3, 2, 1, action. Alright guys, so another tip I can give you is look for different angles and use different focal lengths. So let me give you an example. I took a shot on the 16mm sitting down right here with a bit of swaying and circular movement, and at the exact same spot I took a small plant there and used it as a foreground element with the 50mm, and because of a lot of compression it becomes into a totally different shot. And another example is on the 16mm I used a lot of movement, making it a very dynamic shot. I was going front, back, up, down, left, right. I was going in all directions, keeping him in the center as much as possible. And with these very different range of shots, your videos can turn out to be very unique and expressive in themselves. Alright, we've wrapped up the first part, it's pretty much done. Now what we're thinking is using this location right here. So from this angle, we're going to be switching to this angle, changing up the colors a bit maybe, and taking about now and shooting the second part of this song. So let's get started with that. We are currently almost done with the shoot, but I have this one really cool thing to show you. So it's about this light. So yeah, if you haven't understood already, this light basically changes with whatever you're saying. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm back from the shoot, and I thought I'll take you guys through the editing process, what I'm doing and how I'm editing. So let's get started with that. Alright guys, so now that we're in Premiere Pro, I've already done some basic edits, and let me take you through the process of how I did it. So first of all, I got the audio track, so let me just make it again right here to explain it to you guys. And then I added each layer. So let me go ahead and show you how I did that. So for example, there's this one, and I usually just put on my earphones and see where the audio is starting first on the song. And now I open the track and go zoom in, just find it as close as possible. So that seems about where the song is starting as well. So now I'll just grab both of them and add them on top. So by looking at the waveform and listening to it, it does seem to be a little bit of a second off. So I can actually match up these two. Then if I increase the scratch audio even more, and like that, it's pretty simple. You can sync it up, and now I'll just do a bit of adjustments. I'll make this -90 lumetri adjustments. I will add my C-Log to Rec 709 converter. Next, I'm just gonna go open up my lumetri scopes and look at the exposure tab and see what adjustments can be made. So by just looking at it, I think I can increase the shadows a bit more. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. One last adjustment I will do, just to create a bit more moody, I'll add a bit of vignetting. I would do it for multiple layers of clip, and I will end up with something as I have ended up here, with multiple layers cutting into it, which scenes I feel best. Without further ado, let me just show you guys what we created.
सुनते हो क्या हाँ मैंने जाना तुमको थोड़ा ज्यादा ही हाँ पास आकर ना दूर जाना रहना तुम साथ ही हो सुनते हो क्या हाँ मैंने जाना तुमको थोड़ा खास ही बादलों की ये चादरों में रहना तुम साथ ही When the birds rise we wake up with the sunshine holding on to the day till the moonlight you kiss me close till the day goes slow I love your hair when the dry and cold.
Alright guys, and with that we've come to the end of this video. If you have any questions on how I did anything, or if not understood anything, do hit me up in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'll surely get back to you, and let me know what you want to see next. If you like this video, remember to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, see you guys in the next video.